Hey, unavailable, welcome in. And welcome in, everyone. Carl Wolf here. Today we're playing some more STEINS, finally. It's been a little while. Try to drink a lot of water, because if my voice can last long enough, hopefully I can play a little longer than I've been playing. So we finally did a time leap. It's been a long time since he did a time leap. Almost, not quite a year, but getting close to one. The next thing I knew, I was standing in the middle of an Akihabara alleyway. I was holding a cell phone in my hand. I had a nasty headache, and there was a stinging pain in my neck. I felt a pain on one side of my head like a migraine headache, and the left side of my face hurt really bad. My vision flashed with dark and bright spots. I took a look around. The alley was still peaceful. I heard no gunshots and no explosions. The otaku were enjoying their shopping, and girls in maid outfits were calling out to passerbys. That alone was enough to tell me for sure that the time leap was a success. I looked at the time on my smartphone. July 7th, 5:45 p.m. I had around 40 to 50 minutes before the war began. That still wasn't enough. But the 48-hour limit of the time leap machine meant this was as far as I could go. No point in getting negative. If the machine had been finished just a little later, it would have been too late. I should be glad to have made it here at all. I knew what I'd be doing at this time. I was running around Akihabara, looking for Mayuri. First, I needed to call Maho. She should have been looking for Mayuri too. Hello? Did you find her? No, but I know where she is. Hurry back to the lab. I hung up before she could answer and went back to the lab myself. She was already there by the time I arrived. You found Mayuri, right? Don't you have to go get her? And Daru was acting a little awkward. Probably because he just hit me. Hyajo, you did it. Huh? I grabbed both of her hands and shook them. Both Maho and Daru seemed confused as to what was going on. I've time left here from 48 hours in the future. What? Seriously? We finished it? Sometime in the next 48 hours? We didn't have a choice, so yes. Yeah. But how? I'll explain later. There's no time, so listen carefully. A lot of lives are at stake. I'd gone over the mission many times while waiting for work on that phone wave to finish. I'd thought of everything to say. Hyajo, access Amadeus right now and delete Kurisu and Maho, as well as all their backups. Leskinen's not planning on using them for peaceful purposes at all. What? I can't just... I told you I time-leapt here, right? Akihabara is going to be a war zone less than an hour from now. They're coming for the time machine. And that will be the beginning of the Third World War. If we don't stop it, Suzuha and Mayuri will both die. Maho and Daru went pale as they heard that. Really? Wait, really? So do as I tell you. Please. I can access the data, but to do anything, I'll need the professor's access rights. That's Daru's job. Crack in and destroy all the data. Okie dokie. Leave it to me. Daru started typing at incredible speed. His daughter's life was on the line. Maho stood next to him and typed in her ID and password to begin accessing Amadeus. I'm going to the radio building. You guys stay here. Okarin, take care of Suzuha. Right. Leave it to me. Daru didn't even look up from his computer. When I made it to the top of the radio building, Mayuri quickly ducked behind the time machine. Mayuri was trying not to look at me. Her eyes were a little red because she'd been crying so much. She heard me talking about Kurisu's sacrifice in the Alpha Worldline. And my heart ached again, realizing how much I'd hurt her. Mayuri, what are you going to use the time machine to go back to? Oh wait, what did I just ask? Are you going to use the time machine to go back to the past? Huh? How? I've time leap from 48 hours in the future. I know all about it. What? Is that true? I nodded. This place is going to be a war zone in less than 30 minutes. What? Did someone find out about the time machine somehow? Yeah. That's bad. Then we'll have to jump right now. That's why I'm asking you. Suzuha leapt into the time machine. No, wait just a second. Daru and Hyajo are dealing with it. They're smart people. It'll go fine. But if it doesn't... If it doesn't? You may die. What do you mean, may? What happened to us before you time leaped? Wait, there was some fatal failure before you time leaped, right? Yes, obviously, because that's the only reason he would even do it. And if something's about to happen in 30 minutes and he's here with you guys telling you this, clearly, I think she can put two and two together. I didn't know if I should tell them. You might as well. Suzu's, again, putting two and two together. No, there was no time to hesitate. You were inside the time machine, and just before it jumped, it was hit by a rocket launcher. But I couldn't find your bodies in the rubble. I see. That's why you said maybe. Then the future hasn't been decided. There's still a possibility of success. True. If I haven't seen it, it's not concrete, but... I thought you'd say that. Don't try and stop me, Uncle. Her eyes were filled with resolve. They seemed to say that if I tried to stop her, then she'd do whatever it took to ensure I'd failed. Of course, I had no intention of stopping her. She'd come back here to do her job. There was no way to change her mind. Actually, I'd come here to ensure that she could jump without having to worry about Stratfor's interference. But Mayuri... The uncertainty that had been going in and out of my mind, ever since I'd read her message, reared its head again. Mayuri, are you really leaving? I'm sorry I didn't tell you. But I, and Kurisu, and everyone else, we love you. I came to this worldline because I wanted to save you. So if you leave, we... No. I know exactly how you feel. But... Hey, Uncle Ocarin. And then Suzuha spoke softly. Operation Aquila has begun. Or is it Aquila? Aquila. Operation Aquila. It's not the original plan I was told about. We're not going back to July 28th. We're going to August 21st. August 21st. And that was the day Suzuha had come in the time machine. And the day I'd given up on everything. We need Big Sis Mayu for that plan to work. And that's what my dad told me from the future, just now. What? In the future, Daru had come up with an operation I knew nothing about? And he needed Mayuri for it. Her unexpected words sent my mind reeling. And then Mayuri came close enough for me to hold her, and grabbed my hand tight. She looked a little like she was about to cry. But her eyes were clear and bright. Mayuri. Let me go, okay? Mayushi's a lab member too, you know? Mayushi's going to take her glum, Hikoboshi, and slap him across the face, okay? You're going to slap me? I like how she gave warning. Are you really about to slap me? Or was that a metaphor? Figure of speech. Please. I remembered what was in that message. I remembered how she must feel right now. The last remnants of my hesitation slowly melted away. I thought I was carrying all the burden myself, but I was wrong, wasn't I? I couldn't see what was right in front of me. It wasn't just you, Mayuri. I had all the rest of the lab with me, too. Oh! I've been shot? That wasn't in the script. I suddenly felt a horrible pain in my leg, as the shock knocked me several meters forward and onto the ground. I looked down at my leg and saw that there was a red stain around the calf. It felt like it was on fire. The pain flared up each time my heart beat, and I couldn't stand. Was I just shot? You're Kagari. A girl in a motorcycle suit was standing there. Kagari had a handgun in her right hand, and in her left she was holding what looked like a bomb. There was no sign of the professor, or the other men in camo. That much was fortunate, but Kagari had shown up a little earlier than I expected. She was probably watching the whole time then, waiting for the reinforcements, ready to move in if she needed to, if they didn't get there in time. I hadn't quite planned for this, but evidently I'd ran out of time. Suzuha! Get in the time machine! Go, now! What? I'm sorry for being stupid. Daru's capable of doing whatever it takes to protect you. He's never going to fail. You know that. So the machine will be just fine, right? Of course. In fact, there was no sign of anyone but Kagari showing up. That meant that Daru and Maho's efforts had been successful, and they'd kept the secrets of the time machine out of Stratfor's hands. Mayuri, you too. Hurry. But, what about you, Okarin? She was looking at my injured leg and panicking. There's no need to worry about me. I'm not going to die for another 14 years. Technically? But at the same time, like, they're already changing things by going back, which they were supposed to have already possibly failed. Now you've made it maybe successful? I mean, I don't know. They're pushing the line. Although at the very least, he is the protagonist, and he's like the, what was the word they used in, like, in Marvel, and especially, like, the most recent Deadpool movie? The, like, time anchor, I forget what they said. Like, the most important person in this worldline. Kagari fired again. The bullet struck less than 30 centimeters away from where I was lying on the ground. Nobody move, or I'll kill him. Don't get in the time machine. I'm going to give it to the professor. And then I'm going to have him tell me how to use it. And go back to the future. I don't think you can. Also, he is not going to do that for you, you idiot. And the future that he's going to create is going to make sure that you don't even meet Mayuri. At that point, you won't need to. This was all his plan in order to eventually get this time machine. Once he has it, he doesn't need to enact that plan anymore. Forget about her. I'll handle this. Just go. You too, Suzuha. You can leave Kagari to me. Got it. Big Sis Mayu, inside. What? Huh? Wait! Suzuha pushed Mayuri inside the time machine and out of my sight. Uncle Okurin, take care of Kagari. Roger. Suzuha followed Mayuri inside. And at the same time, the hatch started to close. I told you not to do that! Come out! Hello, I have a question. What is your question? And also, welcome in, Arxie. I think I said that right, Arxie. Kagari ran up to it. I forced myself to stand up, ignoring the piercing pain, and blocked her way. I won't let you interfere. Shut up! Move! I refuse. Move! Kagari kicked my injured leg, and hard. Oh, hang on. I'm getting a cheap viewer's comment on Twitch. Let me ban them. The pain made me so dizzy I could hardly stand. Kagari slipped past me and tried to grab onto the time machine. She was going to use the bomb in her hand. If she did, things would turn out the same as last time. My time leap would be wasted. Get out, or I'll use this bomb to blow up the machine. Stop. I grabbed her from behind and wrapped my arms under hers. I pulled her away from the time machine, ignoring the pain in my leg. Don't you understand? If you do that, your mom's going to die. But I... Just calm down, please. Mayuri tossed a hard drive to me from the almost completely closed hatch. Ocarine, here! What fell on the floor was a thing Kurisu had left behind for Maho. This is Kurisu's. How did it get here? I thought Russia had destroyed it. Don't get mad at Dad. I think he's gonna need it for the time machine research. I could just barely hear Suzuha's voice from within the machine. So that was it. Daro had hid it in the time machine. No, you won't. Bye, Ocarine. I'll come back, okay? I could see Mayuri looking at me from the small gap in the door. That's right. This was a temporary goodbye. I'd see her again someday. Do you know maybe where I can get the original graphic from Steins Gate? I mean like this shape's using in the resume screen with the time traveling machine? I do not. I said resume. Resume, not resume. I don't know why I said resume. Resume. I do not, though, unfortunately. Right, Mayuri. So I would send off my brave lab member 002 with my head held high. I'm counting on you, lab member 002. Mayuri Shiina. Execute Operation Aquila. Slap me in the face for being so pathetic. Oh, that's what you meant. She's gonna go back and slap him in the face. The past us, who gave up. You know she would have done the exact same thing, though, had she been in our shoes. But thankfully she wasn't, so she's gonna go slap some sense into him. Yep, leave it to me. Ocarine, I love you. Yeah. I smiled as the hatch sealed completely shut. The time machine started to roar. I felt like I heard a helicopter in the distance. I believed in him, but for now I had no proof that Daru had been able to crack the complicated Amadeus system and deleted every bit of data. It was possible that special forces teams from all around the world were converging on Akihabara right now. Imagining that made me want to hurry. Quickly. Go. Quickly. I felt like praying as I watched the pale light surrounding the time machine. Don't go! Mommy! Big Sis Suzuha! Kaguri's cry went unanswered. Hey, it didn't blow up. Now, does it matter that some of it had to blow up on this side? Or could it just simply blow up on the other side? A bright light covered the time machine, and it vanished from this world. It worked. Kaguri sobbed and glared at me, with eyes full of hatred. Are you saying her helmet is open? Well, if her helmet's open... Why? Why did you let Mommy go? She shook away my hands and pointed the gun at my head. I stared her dead in the face. Your wonderful mommy's gone with Suzuha to go scold a stupid man who ruined the world. She's going to do something very important for the sake of the whole world. You're lying. You're lying. Mommy and Big Sis Suzuha both left me behind. I'm not lying. I'm about to go make it so that you can meet Mommy in a much happier place. So let's stop this, okay? No, I can't believe that. No, I know you'll believe me. Because I know who you really are. How kind you really are. So her helmet's not open. Whatever. The gun barrel started to shake a little. You know me? I do. I have time left from 48 hours in the future. Okay. Kaguri put her hands to her head as her body spasmed with pain. Oh, right, that. I was about to say. I hear the voice of God. It tells me not to believe you. You're a liar and an enemy, it says. It says if I kill you, I can go back to Mommy. It says to kill the bad man who's trying to destroy the world. And then I can go back to my old world. Kaguri wasn't making any sense. Oh, he never found out, did he? It was Suzu that found out, wasn't it? I forget. It's been a couple weeks. Actually, well, she did tell him. No, it wasn't Suzu. She told him that she got the plastic surgery to make her look like Suzu's mother. And that she was working with Leskinen. Shouldn't she have... I don't know, whatever. Was this brainwashing? Had the professor done something so cruel? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I grabbed the flailing hand that held the gun and looked deep into her eyes. She was crying and scared. Listen. Mommy's not coming back. But if we do our best, we may be able to make a world where you and Mommy can be happy. And that's why she traveled through time. You mustn't waste the chance she gave you. You can still start over. It's okay to disobey the voice of God? Yeah. The voice of God she was hearing was probably the professor's brainwashing. How far it had its claws sunk into her mind, I had no way to tell. But now we had Maho, a specialist in brain science. If we work hard at treatment, I'm sure she'll be okay. Hey, Okabe. Her voice was normal again. I want to see Mommy. Can I? You can. Someday. Oh God, she didn't. I'm glad. See, the problem is I think you forgot that you saw her die, right? Rentaro? You didn't see Suzu and Mayuri die, but you did see Kagari die. Now, did she shoot herself, or did they shoot her? I assumed she did it to herself, but maybe. There was another sudden gunshot. Kaguri's body collapsed right in front of me. Oh, come on. Can't you just be a good guy? I looked over at where it came from, and saw another girl in a black motorcycle suit. She wasn't wearing a helmet, so I could tell it was Moeka Kiryu, pointing a gun at us. Her face was deathly pale, and she was crying. Does that mean you were close to this one? Probably because you had a relationship with this one or something? Because you're both dressed the same. Why? Why are you here? Why? Moeka Kiryu!
FB ねえ FB 私あんな女になんか騙
Oh,
され
that's
な
why
か
you're
った
crying. Never mind.
こんなの偽物の携帯
I
だ
didn't let
と
that
分か
woman
った
trick me.
よ
What woman?
だからお願い私を見捨てないで FB
What was the voice I gave her? I haven't had to talk for her in a long time. FB. Hey, FB. I didn't let that woman trick me. I knew this was a fake phone. So please, don't abandon me, FB. FB. The cell phone fell from her hands. Did she just get shot? No, from her gun. Okay, she shot her phone. Another shot from her gun blew it into fragments. I held Kagari in my arms. Her chest was turning red. This is the scene you saw. Now you get to see it again. Hey, hang in there.
よかった
I'm glad.
神様の言う通りにし
Even
て
the
も
voice of God
間違
wasn't
うこと
right all the time.
あった事故自
This
宅
is my
ですよ
punishment.
彼女の心を踏みにじっ
I
て
destroyed her heart and
Yes,
tried to
you-
manipulate her.
ごめんなさい
I'm sorry.
こんな子に
I didn't mean to grow
な
up
る
like
つもり
this.
じゃねえママ
Mommy,
どこ
where are you? Where are
どこ
you?
なの
Her voice grew thinner. Moeka Kiryu collapsed, some distance away. Her eyes were unfocused, and all she did was mumble. She didn't seem capable of coherent thought. Both of them would be in danger if I didn't get them to a hospital. But... How long does it take for the world line to change? Because you, being Rintaro, being Hyoen Kiyoma, are supposed to notice when the world line changes. Are you somehow actually stuck in this one? Well, another Rintaro will exist? Or have they not succeeded in changing the past? I mean, the moment they successfully made it back, like left this time, shouldn't everything have changed? Dozens of men in camo jumped over the fence on the roof out of nowhere. What? Even Daru and Mahu couldn't succeed in this short a time span. Or was this world line going to converge so that the war started here, no matter what? No, but... It wasn't a waste. Are you sure? If nothing else, they'd bought me time. And that had delayed the attack long enough for Suzuha and Mayuri to leave. Yet they left, so why are things still the same? That's right. In this instant, we'd already won. The way forward was still uncertain, but there was no doubt that the path to STEINS Gate lay before me. Let me drink some water. Target 1, lost. Target 2 and 3, lost as well. What's going on? The leader was talking on his radio. I could see attack helicopters in the sky. I heard that siren again. This is guerrilla attack information. Repeat. Guerrilla attack information. A guerrilla attack may occur in this area. Please get indoors and obtain further information from radio or television broadcasts. The war was starting. Just as I had thought. Even the time leap couldn't change that. Is that you, Lentalo? Leskinen appeared from behind the men in Kemo. That's right. He was a secret member of Stratfor, just like them. What are you doing here? Is Kagari dead? Tell me, Lentalo. Where's the time machine? I lay Kagari down on the ground and slowly rose back up. Blood wouldn't stop coming out of the wound on my leg. The pain was getting worse. But even still, I stood up proud and strong. In front of the men with their guns. In front of the attack helicopter with its rocket launchers. In front of the professor. In front of the war that was about to begin. I laughed as hard as I could in that voice. Yes, do your Kiyoma laugh. Listen well, fools. The time machine you sought to attain is gone. It no longer exists in this time. Too bad. Now, curse your own incompetence. And tremble in fear. For I, the great Kiyoma Hyoen, will never lose to you, and will never lose to fate. I will find the path to STEINS Gate. That's right. This was the beginning of the long epigraph necessary to reach STEINS Gate. Madness is doing the same thing over and over, and expecting a different result. Einstein had once said that, when he despaired of human folly. But now, I would gladly give myself over to that madness and folly. I would use every bit of dedication and obsession within me to seek the lone different outcome, which the laws of God could not reach. That is my choice. No. I have to change something. It is a shorter game than the original, but no way is at the end. Surely not. I mean, if it is, cool. I guess we get to play a new game then. Although, if this is the end, if I had known that last time, I could have finished it back then. Because it's only been 45 minutes. We've only had one alternate ending, though. So, I don't know. I'm suspicious. I don't remember what to go back to change things, though. Was there a choice point? I don't remember. Here, while the credits are going, let me try to do a little research. Cleared Vega and Altair. Altair. New wallpaper. Now the question is, what do I go back to? That was 2 endings. Let me see. And then here's a guide. Ooh, there is more. So we got Gehenna's Stigma, bad ending. We got Vega and Altair just now. But there are others. There's Recursive Mother Goose, The Promise, Renascimento, I don't know how to pronounce that, and the Twin Automata. I need to go and turn my phone off. Do I remember that? Let me see. So the first ending was to not turn your phone off and answer the phone in front of Daru, which I did. The second was still not to turn your phone off and ignore the phone call from Amadeus. I have to go back and turn my phone off. And then answer the phone call from Amadeus. So I have to actually go back to this. I think. Let me check. Skip. That didn't work. How do I do the skip button? I forget. Or skip control. I gotta get to the phone call. Or turning off my phone or whatever. I'm on the right day, 12:05. Or no, I'm not. I gotta be on 12:15, never mind. I'm actually behind. Did I really not save at the option of, like, turning my phone on or off? Why would I have not saved there? Okay, I don't know why I didn't save there. My bad. Oh. This? It's hard to start the app. At the shrine, turn your phone off.
話がある。
So I hang up on her, and then she calls. And for some reason, I didn't save it here. Let me do that. Let me save this. Ooh, hold on. I want to lock it. Let me lock that. And I don't remember where the other one was. I think it was this one. This is the one where I have to answer the phone call or not. Wait, no, it says orbital escape. Or not escape, but eclipse. Orbital eclipse. Okay, so not this one. It's a different one. Never mind. We're about to be on something completely different. Never mind. I hung up in the middle of the conversation, so she was probably mad. Mad. She was just an AI. Well, we've seen all this. Actually, didn't I... Right, I was going down this path, and then I went back. So I did save it here before. I guess I'd overwritten that save. I went back to answer the call. Just turn off the phone. I wanted to get away from Karisu. It wasn't her fault. It was mine. I couldn't become dependent on Amadeus. This wasn't right, and I needed to stop. I was blaspheming Karisu's memory. She had sacrificed herself to send me to the Beta Worldline. I needed to live up to her expectations. I couldn't waste time talking to Karisu. I needed to accept the fact that I couldn't save her and move on. Cut the power and shut off this call. At least until you meet Dr. Leskinen after this. Get Karisu out of your mind. Don't panic. Calm down. Turn off the phone. Oh wait, do I have to specifically turn off the phone?
Nanda.
Wait, what? Whoa, go back. Go back. I have to turn it off? Oh, wait. Actually, let me check this real quick. Oh, no, don't do that. No. Stop. No, how do I...
Nanda.
What do you mean turn it off? It says, at the shrine, turn your phone off.
Nanda? じゃない。急にどうかしたの？
なんでもない。
I should really turn my phone off until I calm down a little. I was fine just a moment ago.
手を出すべきじゃなかった。
But in the end, I couldn't make that decision. What do you mean turn it off? Hang on. What do you mean? How do I turn it off? I didn't know that was a thing. How do the only way I can get to my phone... Hang on. If I go to my phone, it's instantly to her. And I can't disconnect her. I should really turn my smartphone off. How? Nope, stop doing that. Oh, there we go. I did not know that you were supposed to look at your phone here and turn it off like this. Okay, this is where I turn it off. So then I've never been on this path. The phone went silent. I slowly stood up. If Lukaku saw me like this, he'd worry. I should get out of here. I was staggering a little, but I could walk. I felt very thirsty. Now, is that when I'm supposed to turn it off, or am I supposed to turn it off sooner? And then this is the same. This is the same. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. Now, is this is when he went to the other world line, right? I'll read a little bit, trying to see if this is the same or not. And the sky was red-black, dotted with columns of thick black smoke. There was so much rubble, I couldn't find a place to stand. Screams, gunshots, and the stench. Everyone in this world knew what this smell was. It was the smell of burning. Houses, buildings, cars, motorcycles, trees, grass, and humans. It was the smell of all of them burning together. Something thin and black poked from between piles of rubble. This does not seem familiar at all to me. It was a hand. The hand, unmoving, stretched up towards the sky. No, that wasn't the only one. Everywhere I looked, I saw hands, legs, and heads. Parts of what were once human beings were strewn across the ground. I heard a distant gunshot. A shout. Silence. Nothing changed. Just one more body lying on the ground. The world was ending. And at last, people understood. This wasn't the afterlife. This was the real world. Hell. Yes, that's what this was. This was hell. A stray sheep. The world twisted and warped. I felt horribly dizzy. Sometimes my vision would blur for no reason. But this was nothing like that. It was like my mind itself was being wrung apart. Like the world itself was changing. Deja vu. I knew this feeling. This was... At last, the color came back to my vision. All the shouts of the pedestrians and the noise of the passing cars came flooding in at once. Okarin? Are you okay? You're sweating bullets. Do you not feel well? Oh,
Yeah.
no. Fubuki and Kaede. And the two of them were still in front of me. They looked worried. Had I just gotten dizzy for a moment?
本当に大丈夫だよ。
I'm fine,
心
really.
配してくれてありがとう。
Thanks for asking.
それじゃあ私たち行きますね。
Okay, we'll be going.
今度のパーティー楽しみにしてます。
I'm looking forward to the party. And they said their goodbyes and walked toward the station. I watched them go, only halfway paying attention. What was that? Let me drink some water. None of the passers-by noticed me standing there. They were all experiencing time sequentially, as one connected moment after another. But I knew what I just saw. That's right. I was the one person who understood. That feeling was reading Steiner, which meant that the worldline had changed. I shook my head and tried to get the idea out of my mind. It was impossible. The worldline could only change as someone had altered the past. I'd only ever seen worldline changes after I'd sent D-mails with the phone wave named subject to change. But I destroyed the phone wave, so that could never happen again. I'd sacrificed Kurisu for it. But then who did this? And how? What if someone had made a device identical to the phone wave? Or what if someone was playing a game and controlling my actions? Mayuri. I need to see if Mayuri is safe. I'll call her right now. If the worldline change meant something terrible had happened to Mayuri again, should I save just in case? Just imagining it made me shiver. That couldn't happen. It wouldn't. That's what I wanted to believe, but I couldn't help but remember all the times I'd seen her die in the Alpha Worldline. For now, I needed to get in touch with her as soon as possible. I wanted to hear her voice. This is clearly egging me on to actually call her myself. What do I do? I realized I was panicking. Calm down. Relax. Okay, we called her. I picked her name off the contacts list on my phone and dialed. I could hear the call sound in my ear, but there was no sign of her picking up. 7 seconds. 8. 9. Each second made the fear worse. I felt cold sweat drip down my back. 12 seconds. 13 seconds. 14 seconds. I kept calling and praying anyway. Eventually, after a minute of ringing, the electronic sound suddenly cut off. Oh, thank God.
マユリマユリか
Mayuri.
マユリなんだな
Is that you, Mayuri? It's really you, right?
おかりどうしたのそんなに慌てて。
Ocarine? What's wrong? The relaxed, easygoing voice I heard most definitely belonged to Mayuri.
心配したぞ
I was so
ずっと
worried.
鳴らしているのに出
I
なかっ
kept
た
calling you and you didn't pick up.
あごめんね。電話カバン
Oh,
の中に
sorry.
入れてたから。
My phone was in my bag. Not at all. Nothing had happened at all. You know that's not true.
もしかして何か急な用事だった？
Do you need something?
いや、気にし
No,
なくていい。
don't worry about it. I
少
was
し
just feeling nervous.
不安。
不安？
Nervous?
今、どこだ？誰かと
Where
一
are
緒
you now? Are you with someone?
これからバイトだよ。
I'm going to work.
何時まで？
Until when?
8時過ぎぐらいまで。
About 8 p.m.?
そうか。
I
わかった。
see. Got it.
オカリン、遊びに来てくれるの？
Will you come to see me, Ocarine?
いや、今日は用事
No,
があってな。
I'm busy today.
無理なんだ。
I can't.
バイトが終わったら、ラボにも顔を
I'm
出
going
す
to
つ
the
もり
lab
だよ。
after I get off work.
わかった。
Okay.
もし行けるようだっ
If
た
I
ら
can go, we'll meet up
So they
there,
call you
and I'll walk you home.
一緒に帰ろう。
ほんと？今日は珍しい
Really?
ね。
That's rare.
じゃあ、バイト頑張れよ。
Bye. Work hard, okay? I hung up. Mayuri was safe. Which meant that the worldline changing probably had nothing to do with her. Not that I could let my guard down. Or maybe that was just a daydream, and there was no worldline change at all. Don't be delusional. It seemed awfully realistic for that to be the case, though. And just to be safe, I turned on my phone again. The icon was still there, in the same place it had been the last several times I used it. What, the Amadeus? I felt a little hesitation. Especially after what happened. Could I really contact her after that? But I decided that it was important to see what was going on first. So I tapped the icon. What? Did you forget to say something? And Karisu's voice was the same as ever.
怒ってないのか？
You're not mad.
怒る？
Mad? Why?
だって、さっき
Because I just hung up on you,
しま
so...
っただろ。
それについてはさっき謝ってもらったから。
You already apologized for that just
私は
now.
一度許したことを
I'm not the kind of person to keep getting mad after I've forgiven someone.
さっき謝った？
He doesn't remember anything that would have happened up to this point. But the phone was off. Just now. So we just apologized and then turned the phone off? That's right. You called back, didn't you?
かけ直した？
Called back. I did?
ほんの7分43秒前の
Oh,
ことを
7 minutes. Well, never mind then. It was only 7 minutes and 43 seconds ago. Did you forget?
俺が謝ったの？
I apologized?
お前に。
To you.
大丈夫？
Are you okay? Karisu was evidently telling the truth. She didn't look like she was lying, at least.
何かあったの？
What happened?
さっきと
Your expression's totally different than it was a moment ago.
いや、
No,
平気だ。
I'm fine. I didn't remember that. I remember turning off the phone, but I didn't remember anything about calling her. The Amadeus Karisu back after that. The old me would have insisted that I was right and that she was mistaken. But now, I wasn't sure. After all the different paths I'd experienced, and all the sadness and pain I'd gone through, even 6 months later, I was still exhausted. What had really happened, and what hadn't? What was right, and what was wrong? I wasn't sure anymore. I just didn't want to think about it anymore. the past, the future, the fate of the world. I wanted nothing to do with any of it. You're not looking so good. Shouldn't you call one of your friends? Or go rest somewhere? Okabe.
なあクリス
Hey, Kurisu,
一つ
can I ask you something?
さっき電話した後俺が何をしようとしていたか
Do you know what I was about to do after I called you just now? You're going to meet with Dr. Leskinen and Maho, right? You're supposed to talk about me. Evidently, my memories matched hers in that regard.
そうか
I see. Should I tell Maho about you in advance?
本当に大丈夫だ
I'm fine, really.
心配かけです
Sorry to worry you. Don't push yourself too hard. I don't want to be the last person you ever talk to. I chuckled bitterly and ended the conversation. I called Daru too, just in case. And evidently I really was on my way to see the professor and Maho. He also told me that almost all of the events of the last few days matched my memory of them. Which meant that even if the worldline had changed, nothing had changed nearby where I could have seen it. There was no problem. Or at least, there shouldn't have been a problem. It was possible that the moment of dizziness was just the result of mental illness. Experiencing those same sensations brought up my past trauma and caused my memories to get confused. Maybe that was it. The phone wave didn't exist. Sorry, I do keep yawning a lot. So there was no way the past could have changed. That's right. That was all. I kept telling myself this as I went to see the professor. I met with the professor and Maho in a hotel room. So then, Lentalo, you say that your communication with Amadeus is going well so far.
ええ
Yes.
過去に齟齬が出ることもあ
The
ります
conversations are always smooth and coherent. While I'm at it, what about the distance between you and Kurisu?
距離感
Distance? What do you
どういう
mean?
ことでしょう
Do you find yourself getting closer to her as you talk more?
それは
Well,
初めて会話した時
a
に
bit more than when we first started
多少
talking.
は
多少かなりの
A
間違いじ
bit?
ゃない
You sure you didn't mean a lot?
私だってクリスと話し
I'm
てるんだから
talking to her too, so I can
それくらい
tell.
わかるわよあの子
At first she was so mad when she said you ignored 8 of her calls.
怒っていたほどなのに
Yeah,
今じゃすっかりフレンド
but
リー
now
に
you're
なって
quite
る
friendly with each other. That means you've gotten that much closer, right?
だということでしょ
I see. Wonderful. Leskinen seemed overjoyed by Maho's words. I've got great hopes for this. It's possible she'll view you as a friend, or perhaps a love interest.
恋愛感情
A love interest?
そんな声を上げることもないだろう
You don't need to shout, do you?
でも
But
その
she's an AI,
ですよ
right?
AI だからだよ
It's precisely because she's an AI that I'm interested. What did he mean?
彼女にだって感情は
She has emotions, right?
え
Yes,
えだけど
but they're simply running on top of a program.
プログラム上のでもそれは
But isn't that the same as the human brain?
同じことじゃないか
He was right. The brain ran on electrical signals, so you could say it had the same structure. The questions of whether machines have emotions was settled a long time ago. They do. And anyway, Amadeus was designed to mimic the human brain. If the structure is the same, and so is the process, shouldn't that lead to identical results? Which means it's quite possible she could fall in love. In fact, I hope she does. Amadeus. Falling in love. Oops. Is this an upsetting topic for Maho? Don't you start acting like Harisu too, Professor. It was a joke. A joke. Maho's scary when she gets mad, so be careful. Yes, I'm well aware. You know I can hear you, right? Oh, I forgot that I need to call Judy. Lintalo, I'll be right back. The professor quickly left the room. He ran away, didn't he? Christ. Kurisu first, and now the professor. Why do they have to make everything about love? You've got that right. Of course. I was always the type of girl she was. Oh, right. Okabe, I had a question. Do you know any words that Kurisu really liked? Oh, she wants another password for the laptop. Words. Or numbers? Or something? Anything that could be a key. What? Are you trying to break a password she set? Correct. Is she gonna get nervous? Oh. I thought she would just get nervous and try to avoid the topic. I didn't think she'd admit to it. That's exactly right. I'm impressed. I was right? Is that her work computer or something? No, her personal laptop. It was at her home. Why do you have something like that? Her mom gave it to me, so I'd have something to remember her by. I'm trying to figure out what's on it, so I'm looking for a way to crack the password. I thought you might know something. If it's got a password, that means she didn't want anyone seeing it, right? That's true, but if I want to make her, the Amadeus Kurisu, close to the real one, it'd be better to have that data, right? Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. Make up your excuses. Of course, I'll do my best not to do anything that violates her privacy. I knew what she was trying to say. She might have had some kind of diary on her computer, which described what she'd been doing during her time here. But... sorry, I can't think of anything. Nothing? Yeah. And even if I did know, I don't think I'd tell you. Because there's something you don't want anyone finding out? Computers hold a person's most private secrets these days. And Daru talked about that all the time. He was always wondering if there was a way to automatically wipe a computer's hard drive if you died in an accident. I think he was just concerned about all the hentai he had on his computer. And probably other material. Yeah, of course. What Daru didn't want anyone to see was probably very different than what was on Kurisu's computer. Beyond that, it was the same idea. I see. She seemed really interested in the contents of the hard drive, but she didn't say anything else.
それじゃあ俺はこれで
Anyway, I'll be going. I was a little worried about Mayuri too. Was that a... What was that ding? Just in case. I got up and went to leave. And then I saw a small ornament that was decorating the door.
そういえばもうすぐクリスマスか
Come to think of it, it's almost Christmas. I remembered how excited Mayuri was.
ヒアジョーさんはクリスマス
Are you staying here for Christmas, Hyajo?
ええ、こっち
Yeah,
にまだやる
I've
こ
still
とが
got
ある
stuff
か
to
ら
do here.
誰かと過ごしたりは
Are you spending it with Are you spending it with anyone?
え
What?
ああいや
No, I mean,
海外の
outside of Japan, don't people usually have Christmas parties with their friends? Is this old stuff? I don't remember. I know I can skip over stuff that's old. I don't know if the forced skip will be like...
残念だけど、そういう予定はないわ。
Sorry, but I don't have any plans like that.
それに、アメリカ
And
やヨーロッ
Americans
パ
and
じゃ
Europeans don't have
クリスマ
Christmas
スにパ
parties.
ーティーなんてやらないものよ。
Huh? What do you mean? They do.
そうなのか
They don't.
彼らにとってクリスマスは神聖な日でしょ。だから家族と一緒に過ごす
No,
のが
people
普通
do
よ
have Christmas parties.
その分、
I mean, I
大晦日は大騒
suppose
ぎ
it's
す
not
る
as
けど
common
ね。
because it's family time to a lot of people, but people definitely have Christmas parties. There's definitely like even like work Christmas parties and whatnot. It's definitely a thing. Christmas is a holy day to them, right? So they normally spend it with their families. They do have big New Year's parties, though. I thought I'd heard something about that on TV or somewhere.
まあ、こっちには家族
Well,
もいないから
I don't have any family here, so I'll be alone
どっちにしても一人
regardless.
ということに変わりあ
But that doesn't mean I'm lonely. Don't get the wrong idea, okay?
誤解しないでね。
So she's not coming to the party? Or so she said, but being all alone on Christmas in a bustling town was probably pretty lonely. Of course, she'd probably get mad if I told her that. So I didn't. When I finished talking to the professor, I went to the lab. Okay, no, I definitely saw that. I confirmed on the phone that Mayuri was just fine, but I wanted to see her for myself. I was trying... What? It won't let me click on this. Okay, now. I could see from the outside that the lights in the lab were on. Hey, Okurin. What's the best color for a school swimsuit? Jealous? Why would I be jealous? Jealous of what? What's the best color for a school swimsuit? I don't know. It's not, that's not a thing in America. At least used typically. Certainly not public schools. I don't know. Black is like the main color with some other color as an accent. You know, I like orange and black, so I wouldn't mind that. What? No. You're not going to reply? Reply. He doesn't want to reply. Fine. Or am I already too late to reply? Was that earlier? It didn't let me, though. I wanted to reply. I ran up the stairs to get away from the cold and opened the door.
マユリ、いるか？
Mayuri, are you here? I felt a small impact on my chest when I opened the door. Oh, Luca.
悪い。
Oh, sorry.
いえ、僕の方
No,
こそ。
I should have been looking where I was going. I'm sorry. Evidently, he was just about to leave. Lukako looked up at me, apologetic. For some reason, he was blushing a little. Only Daru and Lukako were in the room. There was no sign of Mayuri or Suzuha.
よかった。もう少し早く帰っていたら。
I'm glad. If I'd gone home a little sooner, I would have missed you.
もしかして、
Hmm?
俺を待っていたのか？
Were you waiting for something?
はい。と言っても
Yes, but it's
別
nothing
に
important.
大した用があったわ
I
け
just
じゃない
brought you some
です
snacks.
おまんじゅうもらったよ。
He brought us some steamed maju buns, man. Daru had already eaten about half the box.
いただき物ですから。
Greedy.
皆さんでどうぞ。
Someone gave them to us, so you can share them with everyone.
そうか。
I see.
ありがとう。
Thank you. Hey, Lukashi. You good on time? Oh. Lukako looked up at the clock and started to fidget.
実はこの後、
We're having guest visit at home tonight.
客？
Guests? Of yours?
いえ、父のお
No.
客さんです。
Guests of my
な
father's.
ぜか
For some reason, I was asked to be there as well.
父は普段同じ
Normally,
趣味を持った
he
人
brings
に
people over who have the same
長い
hobbies
時
as
間
he
話し込んだ
as
り
he
するん
does
です
and talks with them for a long time.
難しい話ばかりで
It's all too complicated for me to understand, so usually I just bring them
普段
tea.
はお茶を
I'm
出
not
す
sure
ぐら
why
い
he
しか
wants
し
me
ない
there.
んですけど
Because you look like a girl.
どうして同席してほしいと言われたの
You're something cute for them to look at.
難しい話って。
He's showing you off.
宗教とかそっち系の話か？
Does he talk about religion and stuff? Mukako's family ran the Yanabayashi Shrine, one of the oldest in Akihabara.
そういうわけではないみたいなんですけど
Evidently not.
この前のお客さんとは
Last time he was talking about
有明がどう
Ariake
とか
and something about the era of
そういう
Harumi.
お話をしてました
はるみ、有明。
Harumi. Ariake. Weren't those places... That's Lukashi's daddy for you. Spooky.
岡部さんや橋田さんはわかるんですか
Do you two know what he was talking about?
まあ、なんとな
Yeah,
くは。
I think so.
でも、その話はまた。
But we can talk about it another
客
time.
が来るなら。
If you've got company, you should head home.
あ、
Oh,
それじゃあ僕は
then I'll be going. I'll see you soon. He bowed deeply and disappeared out of the door. I watched him go, then sat down on the sofa.
マユリは？
Where's Mayuri? May Queen, probably. I haven't seen her today. And then I guess I'll have to wait a little. Or should I go get her? Oh, Ocarine. That call earlier. What was that about? He was probably talking about the phone call I placed to him before I went to see the professor.
あれは。
And that
気に
was...
しないでくれ。
Don't worry about it. I was probably just mistaken. You sure? Okay then, I guess. I remembered the strange sensation I had experienced. I wondered if it was a worldline jump. But several hours had passed and nothing had changed. Actually, I wasn't even sure if I'd really experienced it anymore. And memories were like that. Especially for me.
それにしてもハルミとは
Still, Harumi, huh? Lukashi's daddy is a real veteran warrior.
戦士がどうしたって？
What's this about warriors? Suzuha got back before Mayuri did.
ルカ兄さんのお父さんって戦士なの？
Brother Luca's father is a warrior? How come he gets to be brother when I'm stuck being Uncle Okarin? True. That's right. A warrior among warriors. A man with a history of many battles, you could say.
へえ、そうなんだ。
I see.
でも、
But I thought his family were all holy men.
確か、そうか。
Oh,
神職の
I
人
see.
も
They say some holy men can also be warriors. She'd convinced herself. Probably for the best. You don't need to know the truth.
確かに、ルカ兄さんはすごかったし。
Brother Luca really was amazing. I can accept that. Amazing in what way? What are they like in the future? Amazing? What was amazing? That's what I want to know. No, don't pretend. I want to know. I decided to just pretend I never heard that. It still felt awkward looking at Suzuha. I'd avoided coming to the lab mostly to avoid seeing her.
オカリンおじさん、そんな
Uncle
顔しな
Okarin,
いでよ。
don't make that face. Evidently, she could read my thoughts just from the look on my face. She seemed upset.
私のことを避けてるのは
I can tell you're avoiding me.
お前が悪いわけじゃ
You know,
ないんだけどな。
it's not your fault, though. Wait, Suzuha, where have you been for so long? Ah, were you on a date with some boy? Never. Your father won't let you go make some random guy your boyfriend.
違うよ。そんなんじゃない。
No, it's nothing like that. Really? I thought it was a joke, but evidently he was serious about it. His tone was far less joking than usual. It must be hard being a dad.
本当だって。
It's true. Then look me in the eye and tell me.
父さんが
Come
そう
on.
言う？
Do you of all people get to say that, Dad? What does that mean?
母さんというものがありながら
You keep playing those weird games when you need to be spending more time with Mom. That's supposed to be next year. That's because two-dimensional girls and three-dimensional ones are different.
お前、二次元
Didn't you say it didn't matter if a girl was 2D or 3D? Wow, you threw him right under the bus. Okarin, did you have to say that right now? How can you betray me like that? I'd never been on Daru's side when it came to his hobbies, though. Anyway, if it wasn't a boy, then tell your dad what you were doing today.
何って
What I was doing? If it wasn't something bad, there should be no problem. Suzuha glanced at me, then sighed in resignation. The time
人
machine?
を探していたんだ。
I was looking for someone. Right to that. Someone? So it was a boy after all?
違うって言ってるじゃないか。
I told you, it's not like that. Oh, she was looking for Kagari.
小さな女の子。
A little girl.
今
No,
はもう
she'd be older than me
私
now,
よ
I
り
guess.
年上になっちゃってるか。
That was a strange way to put it. I glanced over at Daru, who looked back at me.
実はさ、私が乗ってきたタイムマシンには
Actually,
もう一人乗ってい
there was
たんだ
another girl in the time machine when I came here.
なんだって。
What? Wait, Suzuha. This is the first I've heard about this.
今まで話してなかったから。
I never told you. She was looking down at her feet, and I could see she regretted bringing it up.
その同乗者は
Who is she? Where is she now?
どうしているかは
I don't know what she's doing now.
わからないって。
You don't know?
はぐれちゃったんだよね。
We got separated, you see,
1998
in 1998, here in Akihabara.
秋葉原で。
1998. That would have been 12 years ago. So it wasn't just Suzuha who came from the future. It took some time for the meaning of that to sink in. But what happened?
私とその子は IBN5100 を探すために
Hang on, one moment.
1975年に飛んだ。理由はおじさんならわかるよね。
You know we went back to 1975 to find the IBN 5100, right, Uncle? I nodded silently.
なんとか無事に
We somehow managed to get the IBN 5100, and then we went to 1998.
2000年問題を
Our mission was to avoid the year 2000 problem.
2000年問題
The year 2000 problem. That was one of the big events at the end of the last century, along with Nostradamus' prophecy. But in the end, after all the fuss made by the media and pundits, nothing really happened. Was that because John Titor had come from the future to fix it? If that was the case, then wow.
その1998年にトラブルが起きて、その
I
子と
ran
は
into
ぐれちゃ
some
った
trouble
の
in 1998, then got separated from her.
それではぐれたままタイムマシンで
And you used the time machine before you could find her.
仕方なかったんだ。
I didn't have a
あの子は
choice.
自分からタイムマシ
She
ン
ran
を
out of the
飛び
time
出して
machine
しま
on
っ
her
た
own,
し
and
それに
she must have remembered something. Because she swallowed her words with a bitter expression.
もちろん私だって探した。燃料の残量が許す限り
Of course, I
何度も
looked
細か
for
い
her.
タイムトラベ
I
ルを
did
繰
small
り返
jumps,
して
as many as my field would
あの
allow,
子の姿を探し
and
回っ
looked
た。
everywhere for her. But
でも
in the end, she never managed to find her. I guess I understand, but why'd you keep something so important from us?
あの子を見失ったのは私の落ち度だ。
It was my fault that I lost her.
ちゃんと自
I
分
wanted
で
to
責
take
任を取
responsibility
りた
for
かったん
bringing
だ
her back myself. You know me better than that. Daru's words were soft. I'm your dad. When you're in trouble, you can count on me.
父さん
Dad, you want to find her, right? So we'll help. Right, Okarin?
なって
What?
俺もか
Me too? Of course. We're not asking you to change the future. You can do this, right?
まあ
Well, to be honest, after refusing all her requests to save the world, I was feeling a little guilty. I'd like to help her if I could, but I wanted to know what she'd do after she found her. So, what's her name and age? And is she cute? Daddy will be mad if she's really a man.
女だよ。
She's a girl. Okay, then give me her name and measurements too. Stop it. Why would she know that?
なんて知らないよ。だって別れ
Don't
た時の
tell
あ
him
の子は
that.
10歳だったんだから。
She's just resigned and just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know her measurements. When I last saw her, she was 10. Lolly, huh?
じゃあ今は22歳になってるはずだな
Then she should be 22 now. Okay, I'm glad he was more excited about her being 22. Name, please.
名前はかがり。
Her name's Kagari.
かがりって言うんだ。
Kagari Shiina.
シーナ
Shiina. The name was an unusual one. A girl who was part of Daru's group in the future, who had the name Shiina.
鈴葉まさかその子って
Suzuha. Was that girl?
彼女の
That's right.
母親の名前は
Her mother's name is Mayuri
シーナ
Shiina.
まゆり。かがりは
Kagari is Big Sis Mayu's daughter. You should have said adopted daughter. Don't leave that part out. Mayuri's daughter. Of course. It was possible that Mayuri would choose to have a child in the future. But the fact that I'd never even thought about it made the shock that much worse. If she had a daughter, she must have had a partner. Nope. She's the Virgin Mary. And that partner couldn't be me. Because I died in 2025. Wait a second. The little girl is 10 years old? If she was 10 in 2036, then she would have been born in 2026. And depending on when that happened, I'd have to learn more. But if I died in 2025, wasn't it just possible, maybe, barely, that it could be me? Do you want it to be? That just couldn't be. Just like Suzuha had appeared before Daru, she was going to appear before me? Who was the dad? I couldn't ask.
あれちょい待ちシーナってことは名字はそのままってことだ
That's
よ
a
ね
good point.
ってことは
Huh? Wait a second. If her name was Shiina, that means Mayushi didn't change her name, which means...
かがりは繊細孤児だよ。身寄りがなかった
Here we go,
彼女
there we go.
マユ姉さんと
Thank you, you
引き
should
取
have
って
said that in the
育てた
first place, dummy. Also, technically, depending on who the father was, maybe the daughter had to have the mother's old maiden name, just to hide her identity a little bit. That's a possibility, especially in war. Kagari is a war orphan. She had no relatives until Big Sis Mayu took her in.
あーなん
And
か
that
それ
sounds like something she would
マユ
do.
らしいかも
I realized that I was relieved in more ways than one, and I hated myself a little for it. Even if she did marry someone else in the future, as long as that made her happy, it was for the best.
私はマユ姉さんから
Yeah, you're in love with,
かがりを止めなって言われたんだ
Karisu.
だから
So what does it matter to you?
こんなことになっちゃいけなかった
I forgot Karisu's name for a moment. I blinked. Big Sis Mayu told me to take care of Kagari, so this should never have happened.
あの子はいつだって
She was always
マユ姉
clinging
さ
to
んの
Big
絶
Sis
対だ
Mayu,
ったし
and she doesn't know
この時
anybody
代
in
に
this
は
time,
知り合いなんて
so
い
I'm
る
sure
はず
she's
もない
lonely.
からきっと
その子はどうしてはぐれてしまったんだ
How did you get
さ
separated?
っきトラブルと言った
You
が
said there was some kind of trouble. I remember her telling them this before, but when was it that she told them this? I'm trying to remember if this whole scene is something I've seen before or not. Because I don't want to repeat scenes that I've already done. Didn't she tell them on the rooftop? I don't remember where she told them. If she'd come to a new era in the time machine at 10 years old, Suzuha would have been the only person she could rely on. There was no way she'd leave Suzuha and run off on her own.
私にもわからない
I don't know
た
either,
だ
but she got really
過去に
unstable
飛ん
after
で
we
から
jumped to
の
the
彼女は
past.
精神的にかなり不安定
And
だっ
that
た
made sense, come to think of it. A young girl, just 10 years old, was suddenly taken to a world where she knew no one. Of course she'd be scared.
その子の写真か何かはある
Do you have any pictures of her?
あ
Unfortunately, that's a waste. That picture will not help at all because she's already had the plastic surgery. So she no longer has the red hair. Oh, yeah. That picture doesn't help. She showed me a tattered picture with 2 girls in it. One was an adult woman. I couldn't see her face, but maybe it was Mayuri, 20 years from now. Hiding behind her was another girl. Was that Kagari Shiina?
この子が22歳に成長してるわけか。
And now she's 22, huh?
いまいち
It's
想像
hard to
がつかない
imagine.
な。
That is, if she was still alive. Even if Japan was a safe, peaceful country, it would be hard for a young girl to get... Sorry, I had to burp. For a young girl to get by on her own. If she was lucky, someone might take her in and give her to an orphanage. But if she wasn't, she'd get captured by a bad guy and brainwashed and so on and so forth. Hello, Kai. Welcome in. Thanks for your day checking in. Congrats on first. And thanks for your contribution. Hello, Kai. Welcome in. Did you just wake up? I don't remember when you stopped streaming. Suzuha was probably well aware of that possibility, so I didn't bring it up. I'm still going? Oh, okay.
協力してくれよ。
8 hours at the moment. Trying to finish Trails? Oh, yeah. You said you wanted to finish that. Yeah, you were on a goal to finish that. Well, good luck. Hey, Okurin. Help us out, okay?
マユリの養女なんだろう。
She's Mayuri's adopted daughter, right? I'd like to help.
でも、
But are you okay with that,
鈴葉
Suzuha?
はいいのか。
With me helping?
俺が手伝っても。
I felt sure that Suzuha was disgusted with me. I had a chance to save the world, and I had given up. Would she want help from a person like that? Chapter 4 never seems to end. Yeah, sometimes you just get those chapters that just seem really long. If you're okay with it, Uncle, the more people, the better.
そうか。
I
だ
see.
ったら
Then I'll help.
手を貸せよ。
Of course, I didn't think this would make up for that.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
マユシーの幼女がどうしたの？
Why are you always hearing these parts? This should be interesting. What's this about Mayushi's daughter? Everyone turned around at the sudden voice. Doot-the-roo! Ocarine, you really did wait for me. Mayuri.
どうしたの？
Hmm? What is it? The moment I saw her, I finally relaxed.
よかった。マユリ。
I'm so glad. Mayuri. I took her small hand in mine and felt the warmth. She was alive.
オカリン？
Oh, sorry.
別に
No, it didn't bother me, so it's okay.
マユ姉さん、いつからいたの？
Big Sis Mayu, how long were you here for?
今来たばっかりだよ。
I just got here. I was careless. I was so focused on what Suzuha was saying that I didn't see Mayuri come into the room.
ねえねえ、マユシーの幼女がなんとか
Hey, hey,
聞こえた
I
けど
heard you talking about Mayushi's daughter.
何の話を
What were you
してたの
talking
か
about?
な？
それは
Well, that is... crap. Mayuri knew that Suzuha was from the future, but telling her about her future daughter would be going too far. I needed to change the subject.
マユリはまだまだ幼い。
We were saying that you look so young. You could be my daughter.
そうそう。
Huh?
マユシは
Oh, right.
もうちょ可愛い
Right. Mayushi's a cute young girl.
童顔だってよく言われるんだ。
Yeah. People tell me that I've got a young face a lot.
大人っぽく
I
なり
want to
たい
look grown up like Yuki, though.
食べる量だけは立派に劣るかも
Well,
しれない。
you eat enough for 2 grown-ups.
へへへ
Yeah, we know where it's going. That wasn't a compliment, Mayuri. That was enough to distract her, evidently.
そうだ。食べ物と
Oh,
いえば
speaking of food,
オカリン
is there anything you want for Christmas?
クリスマスに何か食べたいもん。
クリスマス？パーティー
Christmas.
のことか。
You mean the party? Yep,
別に何でもいいぞ。
anything's fine.
ものならな。
As long as it's food, though.
クリスマス
Well, then you lied about anything's fine. A Christmas party, huh?
すずさんは初めて
Have you never been to one, Suzu?
私たちの時代は
Where I come from, we really didn't have time for parties.
でも一度だけ
But I think there was one time when Dad got us a really good chicken from somewhere.
美味しいチキンを調達してきてくれたことがそれをマヨ姉さんが調理する
Big sis Mayu said she'd cook it,
お父さんが止め
but
て
Dad stopped her. Sounds about right. Suzuha was looking at Mayuri, as if she was remembering the past. Or future, as the case might be.
いつもよ
Let me
り
drink some water.
ほんの少しだけごちそうってだけだったけどそれでも嬉しかったな
It really wasn't much more than we usually got, but it did make me happy. In the future, when World War III was going on, there probably wasn't much time for celebration. But even then, Mayuri was still Mayuri, and trying her best to make everyone happy.
ダル君は何か欲しい
Is there anything you want, Daru?
僕は可愛い女の子がサンタ
If I've got cute girls dressed up in Santa cosplay, that's all I need.
料理はどれくらいいるかな
How much food do we need, you think?
ユキさんと一緒に用意する
The plan was to make it all with Yuki. Oh, I know. Maybe I'll have Luca and Ferris help too.
フェリスちゃんにも手伝ってもらおうかな
Mayuri's head was full of thoughts about the Christmas party, it seemed.
オカリンは誰かパーティーに呼びたい
Yes, there is. A little short stack. Is there anybody you want to bring to the party, Ocarine?
俺？
Me?
俺は別に。
I don't really... Hello, short stack. I almost said no, but then I remembered someone. Maho Hyajo. She said Christmas is something you always spend with your family, but...
オカリン
あいや、
No,
特には。
not really. Ah, so this is a world line where they don't come to the party. So, Leskinen doesn't get to see, what's her name? Doesn't get to see the tomboy and us pass out from the whole world line change. How is she going to spend her Christmas? It was after I walked Mayuri home. The second I was alone, I started thinking about this afternoon. If that really was a world line change, it was. Then what was the cause? The most likely possibility was that someone had succeeded in developing something like the phone wave. We were able to make one. There was no reason someone else couldn't. Another possibility was that... No, there was no use in thinking about it. I was just mistaken. You should think about it. And even if the world line did change, we weren't the cause. That's worse. We didn't have anything to do with it anymore. Whenever I was alone, I always ended up thinking about things that wouldn't do me any good. Trust me, you want to think about this one. I took the phone out of my pocket and tapped the icon. Yep, Amadeus. Hello. And Kurisu's expression was as self-satisfied as ever. Why are you calling at this hour?
いや、
Nothing.
なんとなく話がしたく
I
なって
just felt like talking. Did I bother you? Not really. Talking to you is good for me, you know? She was an AI, after all. She wouldn't be bothered, no matter the hour. You met with Maho, right?
あ
Yeah. What did you talk about?
何ってお前とのやりとりについて報告を
What?
しただけだが
I just gave her my report about our conversations. Is that all? You didn't invite her anywhere?
まだそん
I
なこと
tried.
言ってるのか？Hiyajoさん
Are you still going on about that?
また
You better not tell that to Hiyajo. She'll get mad at you. But this is her big chance. I don't want her to waste it. And Kurisu seemed insistent on getting me and Maho together. Sheesh. Doesn't she have other things to think about? Well, if she had the memories of the other Kurisu before her end, she wouldn't insist on this. Things to think about. Would you have anything to say about that other matter?
なあ、ちょっと
Hey.
相談なんだが、
Question for you.
消息不明になった
What's
人
the
を
best way to
探すには
find a missing person?
どうすればいい？
That sure came out of nowhere.
身近でそんな話があったんだよ。
Some friends and I are trying to find someone.
でも自分たち
But we don't really know what to
ど
do,
う
you
すればいい
see.
のかわからなくてな。
And tell me the details. She leaned forward, suddenly interested. She really was a curious girl.
それが
She was. Well, you can't say anything.
俺だけの問題じゃないからな。
I'm not the only one involved. But I can't really help you like that, though.
だよな。
You're right.
一般論でいいんだ。
If you could just give me your general thoughts. Well, the best option is to go to the police. Not really an option. That was the obvious and correct answer. Or a private investigator, possibly. Or look at old newspaper articles. But I guess you're already doing that. A private investigator, maybe.
どうかな。
But it'd be hard to give him the necessary details. I don't know about that. You don't know. You're trying to find someone and you haven't even done that?
俺も今日聞かされたばかりなんだ。
I just heard about this today.
後で
I'll
確認
find out
してみる。
later. But Kaguri was from the future. And Suzuha didn't have any personal documents in this era either. Which meant that it was unlikely she'd gone to anybody in the government.
アメリカなんかでは
Some people in America use dowsing and clairvoyance to find people, right? No. The ones who believe in that kind of stuff try to, but overall, no. Yeah, seriously. Don't tell me you believe in that stuff. It has no scientific basis whatsoever.
いや、
No,
言ってみただけ
it
だ。
was just something I thought of. Good. If you said yes, I was never going to speak to you again. That's a lie. She really was just like Kurisu.
ありがとう。参考にな
Thanks.
ったよ。
That's a big help. I'll be praying you find her.
ああ、それ
Oh,
と、
and
何
what?
あ
Oh,
いや、
no. It's nothing.
何よ
What?
気になるでしょ
Now you've got me wondering.
本当に何でもないんだ。
It's
そ
nothing.
れじゃあ、
Really.
今日はこれで。
Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow or something. Why was I just about to say that? Say what? Oh. I was just about to tell her about Mayuri's Christmas party. To see if she wanted to go. Technically, you did ask Maho. She more or less said no. So it's okay to ask Kurisu. And Kurisu was just an AI. She only existed inside of a computer. I guess I was just starting to see her as real.
どう父さん
Well, Dad?
何か手がか
Any
り
luck?
はあった
いや、
nope.
こっちは
Sorry.
何にも
Nothing.
そう
I see. The search for Mayuri's future daughter, Kagari Shiina, was taking longer than expected.
一つ聞くが、
Let me ask you
警
something.
察には行ったのか？
Did you go to the police? Nope.
うん一応
Oh,
言
you
ったんだ
did?
けどねで
But,
も
okay.
捜索願いなんか
Yeah,
出してな
I
い
did. But there's no official missing persons report. I was right. In order to submit a missing persons report, you needed to have ID to prove who you were. That's why Suzaha hadn't done it. And also, I later learned that the only people who could submit a search request were people like family and significant others, who were close to the missing person. Only those people? Hopefully not. Because if your family died or something, you had no family, and you weren't in a relationship, all you had was like a really close friend at best, surely that friend would be allowed to. As long as the circumstances were explained, surely the friend would be allowed. Maybe it just takes a longer time period for a friend to be able to do it.
僕の方でも昨日軽く警察のデータベー
Yesterday,
ス
I
に
did some light hacking of the police
手をかけてみたん
database,
だけど
but I didn't find
その
anything.
情報は
だろうな。
Yeah, I'm sure.
つうことはオカリも見て
Did you look too then?
誰のように。
I didn't look at any internal data like you did, Daru. But yeah. There was a database of missing persons on the police homepage. But it didn't go back very far, and it didn't have a lot of information. All it had was age, sex, clothes, and sometimes possessions that they were carrying. Since we knew nothing about Kagari Shiina, we had basically nothing to go on.
でもさ一見平和に思
You
える
know,
この世界でも
This world may seem
身
peaceful,
元不明者や
but there sure are a lot of people who go
た
missing.
くさんいるんだね
Yeah. Overall, like, there's no war or anything, but there are sick individuals. Or sometimes things just happen to people. They end up dying in some obscure place that others aren't able to find. Or, like, falling into a river and sinking down somewhere where they don't get found for a long time. I thought the same thing. Each year, over a hundred unidentified bodies were found in Tokyo alone. If you expanded that to cover all of Japan, then went back 12 years, you'd have a pretty big number. Unfortunately. Let me drink some water. And the number of missing persons was far greater. Each year, almost 100,000 people went missing. And 1 out of every 5 was in their teens. Of course, most of them just ran away from home, and 70% were found within a week after a report was filed. 70%? That's good. But if 70% of them were found in the first week, that meant that 30% of them weren't. In fact, 5% of them were never found at all, and no one ever knew if they were alive or dead. You know, silver lining 5% is decently low, but at the same time, that's still a lot of people and unfortunate. Perhaps Kagari Shiina was caught up in an accident or killed. Or perhaps she was taken in by a mad scientist who brainwashed her. I sat up, then got off the sofa.
オカリン、 どっか行く？
Ocarine, where are you going?
もうちょっと調べてみようと。
I thought I'd do a little more research. School would be on break soon anyway, and it wasn't like I had anything to do. And while I hadn't been very interested at first, at some point I'd become really interested in the whereabouts of Kagari Shiina. And more than anything,
ありがとう。
thank you, Uncle Ocarine. Of course.
別にこれくらい大したことじゃない。
No, it's nothing, really.
ううん。
No,
それでもありがとう。
thank you anyway. As long as I was looking for Kagari, Suzuha probably wasn't going to bother me about the future. Okay, dude. True, but okay, dude. Having her bring up the same thing every time we met was hard for me. If I could get her focused on something else, that would make things easier. Or so I thought, but... Finding clues wasn't easy. Just in case, I'd gone to the National Diet Library and looked at articles on missing persons and crimes in 1998, the year she'd gotten separated from Suzuha, but I had no luck. Suzuha said that she had been looking for Kagari every few years on her way to our time, so I knew it wouldn't be easy. But I couldn't help but feel a little tired and disappointed. Are you calling? Of course.
どうかした？
What's wrong?
お、
Oh.
何？
Is it just second nature to talk to Kurisu about these things? To ask her for her opinion? What?
いや、
Nothing. I just wanted to hear your voice. Apparently I'm not wrong. I called Kurisu without even realizing it, somehow.
ねえ、昨日よりさらに疲れてるみたいだ。
Hey, you seem even more tired than yesterday. You okay?
そう見えるか。
Is that how I look?
声のトーンがいつもより低い。
Your tones drop lower than usual.
多少の充血
I
も
see
見ら
your
れる。
conjunctive...
もしかして
your
昨日言ってた件を調べてるか？
what? Are slightly swollen with blood, too. Were you looking into that case you told me about yesterday? Conjunctiva?
まだ。
Yeah. I told Kurisu what I'd heard from Suzuha and Daru, and what I'd found at the National Diet Library.
バカね。そん
You
なことな
dummy.
ら私に言ってくれ
If
れば
that's what you were trying to do, you could have just asked me.
どういうことだ？
What do you mean? She's an AI. She can look way better than you.
私ならネットワークに接続してオンライン
I
上
can
の情報を
access
探知す
the
ることがで
network
き
and
る
research anything that's on the internet, you know?
あ、
Oh,
そうか。
that's right. I'd forgotten. Because he just sees her as a real person at this point. She was an AI that existed inside a computer. So something like that would be easy for her.
なんなら少しやってみましょうか。
Want me to give it a try?
すぐにできるのか？
Can you do it right now?
それほど時間はかからない。
It won't take much time at all.
それじゃあ頼む。
Alright, give it a go.
わかった。少し
Sure.
待ってて。
Just give me a second. Kurisu fell silent on the screen and didn't move for a moment. And maybe 30 seconds later.
もう結果が出たのか？
You're done already. I searched the network, and nobody named Kagari Shiina has been involved in any accidents or crimes since 1998. I found 3 people with identical names, but given their ages, they're almost certainly not the girl you're looking for. If you want, I can send you an email with their data later. Please do. Also, if only we could have her look up Yuri, then she could tell us that, strange, Yuri is currently both on vacation with her family, or whatever, is overseas with her family, or whatever, and also here, living life as normal at school.
いや、いい。
No, that's fine. When I stopped to think about it, even Suzuha would have been able to do a search for her name on the internet. And what Kurisu was saying was almost certainly right. And the Kurisu Makase I had known was always right. I think that's all I can do. Now, it's up to you to do what only you can do.
俺たちにしかできないやり方。
What can I do? Go gather information around the place where she disappeared. It's the ultimate in analog methods, though. That was 10 years ago.
いや、
We don't even know specifically where she disappeared. I guess you're right. Suzuha had been doing that forever, so I couldn't imagine I'd find anything new. But if that was my only option, then that was what I had to do. Oh god, here she is. Meow? Kyo? I mean, Ocarine? I spun around when I heard a voice behind me. I knew it was you, Nya. What are you doing here, Nya?
フェイリス、それに。
Ferris. And...
こんにちは。
Luka.
岡部さん。
Hello, Okabe.
なんだ、珍しい組み合わせだな。
It's rare to see you two together.
ついさっきそこで会ったのにゃ。そしたら
We just happened to run into each other over there, Nya.
そこま
And
で
Luka Nyan was carrying a heavy load, so I decided to help him, Nya. I took a closer look and saw that Lukaka was holding bags in both hands. If you added in what Ferris was carrying, it was quite a lot. He was trying to carry this all alone. Lukako.
ねえ、ちょっと。
Hey, excuse me.
今、何か聞こえませんでしたか？
Did you just hear something?
いや、これは別に
No,
何でも。
this isn't. I quickly hid the smartphone behind my back.
ちょっと、聞いてるの？ねえ。
Hey, are you listening? Hey.
また聞こえたにゃ。もしかして、さっきオカリンが話していたのはそれかにゃ？
There it is again, Nya. Is that who you were talking to a minute ago, Nya?
いや、これは。
No, this is... It shouldn't matter if they found out. Hey, wait. But I still felt guilty. So I closed the Amadeus app.
電話中だったのにゃ。
Were you on the phone, Nya?
ああ。
Oh.
ちょっと知り合い
I
に
was asking an
相談を。
acquaintance for some advice.
相談ですか？
Actually, why don't you ask, And immediately I blanked on her name. Advice?
そういうことだったん
Ferris.
だにゃ。
I don't know why I suddenly blanked so hard when it was said moments ago. Why not ask Ferris? She has connections. She has connections to the city. So that was it, Nya? When I saw you from behind, it looked like you were mumbling to yourself. So I was a little worried, Nya. Did I look like... Yeah, did I look like she needed to worry about me? But, well, if she saw me talking to my smartphone in a place like this, I guess I could understand that. Anyway, if you're in trouble, you should have just come over to Ferris, Nya. I agree.
そうです。
The-
僕じゃ
That's right. I might not be able to help, but I can at least listen.
ありがとう。
Thanks, really.
大したことじゃ
But it's nothing. No. Wait a second. Both Ferris and Lukaku had lived in Akihabara since they were born. And both of their families held important positions here. Go on. And maybe asking them wouldn't be such a bad idea after all.
実
Go
は
on.
今人を探してる
I'm
んだ。
actually looking for someone.
人ですか？
You're looking for someone? I told them that I was looking for a girl who had gone missing 12 years ago in Akihabara. Of course, I didn't tell them that she was from the future, that she was Mayuri's daughter.
その子がどうして行方をくらませたのか。
I'd be really interested in knowing why she went missing, yeah? I like how I said yeah before I even saw it. At this point, I'm just gonna add it even when it's not there.
すまないが、そのあたりの事情は話せないんだ。
Sorry, but I can't tell you that.
にゃ
Meow.
そういう話に心当たりはないかだけでも。
If you could ask if anyone has any idea, that would be a huge help.
ー。わかったにゃ。
Got
とりあえず
Ask Kuroki,
にゃ。
yeah?
クロキに聞いてみるにゃ。
Kuroki was her family butler. I had met him several times. Is it Kuroki or Kuroki? It kind of matters. In the same way that Ferris naturally looked like a maid, Kuroki just naturally looked like a butler. Come to think of it, it was rather strange for a maid to have a butler for a servant.
あと、メイクインニャンニャンの
Oh,
ご主人
and
様
I'll ask the
たちも
masters at Maid Queen Neon
聞いてみる
Square.
にゃ。
Neon Squared, yeah?
僕の方もお父さんと
I'll ask my father,
氏子
as
の
well as
方
our
たちにも聞いてみます
parishioners. Whatever.
悪いな。そうしてくれると助かる。
Thanks. That would be a big help. Both Kuroki and Lukako's dad knew a lot of people, and they had a far better chance of finding someone than we did. I hope they could at least find some small clue.
それはそうと、ルカ子。
Anyway, Lukaku,
その山ほど
What's all this
どうしたんだ？
now you ask?
これはその
Oh, right.
お父さんの
Remember how I said I had guests
お
coming
話は
yesterday?
しましたよね。実はそのお客さんの一人が
One of those guests is gonna be staying at our house for a while.
それで必要なものを買い揃えて
So I'd gone to get the things they needed, yeah? If they were a guest of Lukako's father, they must be fairly old. And from what I heard yesterday, they probably had some unique hobbies.
それは大変だな。
That's rough.
いえ、僕も
No,
ちょっと
it's
楽しい
actually
です
kind of fun. Fun? Lukaku shared the same blood as his dad, so perhaps he said he had some latent interest in those hobbies.
あんまり
Okay.
のめり込みすぎないようにするんだぞ。
Don't get too into it, okay?
えお
Huh? Okay. Don't worry about it. I gave him that warning, then went to leave. Well, I tried to leave, but
よいしょよいしょ
I don't think I've ever seen Lukaku from behind. Luca. Why you gotta be a guy? I've got it. I've got it.
ルカニャン大丈夫かにゃ
Look at Nya.
フラしてるに
You
ゃ
okay? You're not even walking straight, Nya.
大丈夫です
I'm fine.
僕
This is nothing.
あのよかったらお茶
So
でも
we
飲ん
went
で
with
い
them.
ってください
Have some tea, if you like.
いや、遠慮しておくよ。
Oh,
お客さんだってい
I've
るんだ
got
ろ
it. I've got like so he almost fell over or dropped stuff or something? Or he was struggling with the bag, so we helped? No, I'll pass. You've got guests, right?
そうですけど
That's true, but I couldn't bear to see him struggle like that. So I carried his bags to the shrine with him. Ferris had gone back to her cafe,
それにしてもこ
You
の荷
know,
物
I have no idea how you
いくら
expected
なん
to
でも
carry
一
all
人で
this
運ぶには
stuff.
無理があるだろ
僕だって
Maybe he becomes
最
buff
近
in
は
the future and that's why he's so
少し
amazing,
力がついてきたんですよ。
according to Suzu.
今日も岡部さんに言われた素振りだって
Oh, maybe he is getting stronger. I've gotten a little stronger lately. I've been doing the sword exercises you gave me, Kyo. I mean, Okabe? Sword exercises. And that was the training I'd given to him when he told me he felt too much like a girl.
精神残魔流か
Seishin Zanma school, huh? It was so stupid. I couldn't even laugh.
すみません。
I'm sorry. Thinking back, I was amazed he put up with that nonsense.
ルカ
Because he liked
帰
you.
ったのかい？
Luca, are you home? I could hear his dad's voice from their home behind the shrine office.
はい今行きます。
Yes, I'll be right there.
それじゃあ俺はこれ
Okay,
で
I'll be going.
はい
Right.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you,
岡
Okabe.
部さん。
Lukaku bowed deeply as I left Yanabayashi Shrine. On my way home, I thought about what the two of them had said.
でも水臭いにゃ。何か困ったことがあったら
Anyway, if you're in trouble, you should have just come to Ferris, nya?
そうです。
That's right. I might not be able to help, but I can at least listen.
でもお話くらいなら。
I didn't realize until after they'd spoken. I'd gone to Kurisu before I'd gone to anyone else. 'Cause you love her. I'd brought up the app and started talking with her before I even realized it. She wasn't the real Kurisu. Technically. But that voice. The way she acted. All of it reminded me of Kurisu. All of it brought back the emotions I tried to hide. There was an incoming call on my phone. You know what? Save. Where's my... There it is. Save. I don't know if these... We'll save that. We'll leave those alone. There was an incoming call on my phone. It was from Kurisu. Now, is this a choice or no? She was probably there to complain about me hanging up on her earlier. That would be just like Kurisu. But I didn't answer the phone. See, I don't know about that. Do I want to answer yes or no? I kind of want to answer. I think that was an important moment. Ooh. Ride this one out and come back? Or go for it? Last time, the first one was a bad ending. The second one was not a bad ending, but it was also a... What's the word I'm trying to find? I forget. Just kind of left to your imagination. Ending. An open ending that you just kind of fill in the blanks yourself. Decide how that ends. I imagine this will be another one of that, whether it's a bad ending and an open ending, maybe? I kind of want to answer, though. I feel like I want to answer first. I feel bad when I don't answer. I want to answer. But apparently this one is important, so let's lock that one. Well, at least I assume it is. Hang on. Do we actually answer? Nope, I assumed wrong. Never mind. That was not a choice at all. Mean. I didn't answer any of the other calls that came that day either. Now, is this him narrating, or is this the other just like random narrator that exists in this game? I think random narrator. The United States of America, California.
まったくなんで
Yep.
私がこんなリポートしなきゃいけないの
Christ.
よ
Why do I have to do this report? The reporter, Jessica Edmond, had rushed to the scene at her director's orders, and she was pissed off about it. She dreamed of Hollywood and even being in a movie once. So how did she end up reporting on this crap? You're the one who said you wanted work, no matter what it was.
確かに言ったけど
I did say that, but still. I'm giving a bratty failed actress a chance to do something productive with their life. I expect gratitude, not complaints.
なんですって
What did you say? Or what? Are you going to give up on the job and run away? You never see anything through, you know? You keep that up and you'll lose custody. Custody? Is that why she had to give up on the dream? She got pregnant? She hated herself for not being able to say anything. Her stupid pride got in the way. She dreamed of being a Hollywood actress, but all she'd gotten was a small part in a B movie. It had never gone anywhere after that. Then she had a kid and came back home. Still, she loved her kid. She wanted to make sure they were taken care of, no matter what she had to do.
それで現場は
So, where is it? Back behind those bushes. She went into the bushes, and there she saw it. Saw what? Oh God. Several bodies, all brutally mutilated. Oh. Monkey bodies.
このように
Still
国
terrible.
内において行方不明になっている研究者は今年に入ってから5名。そのうちの
5 scientists have gone missing this year, and 3 of the 5 were believed to have been researching artificial intelligence.
その背後には人工知能
The authorities believe that the culprits may be radical religious fundamentalists who oppose the development of AI.
続きましては現場からのリポー
And
ト
now,
です
we go live to the scene. Jessica?
こちら現場のジェシカ・エドモンドです
This is Jessica Edmond,
今朝早く
reporting live from the
こちら
scene.
の現場で発見された
The bodies
遺体
found
に
this
ついて
morning were initially believed to be
人間
human,
のものその後の警察の調べにより
but
ますと
police investigation later revealed them to be chimpanzees and orangutans.
複数ただしこれらの遺体に
But the
ついて
bodies are all missing their brains and parts of their heads.
頭部が欠損しているものも
Police are warning locals that a maniac may be
警察
on the
では
loose.
猟奇的事件として地域住民への
Well, that was strange.
お前この後授業は
It has been 2.5 hours. This would be a good stopping point because of the transition. Why don't I go ahead and read up into a character being on screen I could use as a thumbnail. Hey, Okabe, you got class after this?
いや今日はもう
Nope,
終わりだよ
I'm done for the day.
そっかじゃ
Then, you want to go get some food somewhere?
どうせまたカレーだろ
You just want curry again, don't you? Kitchen Tokai.
昨日ちょいリ
I got a bit of an extra bonus yesterday, so maybe I'll splurge and go to Mondi.
俺はやめておくよ
I'll pass. I'm a little tight this month.
そっか
Okay, maybe next time.
あ
Sure. I was talking with my friends after class. I really started to get used to this. Before the summer, I felt really out of place at school, but now, it didn't seem so bad. Back then, I thought I was special. But now I knew better. As long as you make the effort to fit in, you can find a place to belong. True. Very true. But that's if you make the effort. And people can change. No. They change whether they want to or not. It was too late now, But I'd learned something about myself. It really was too late. Oh, trust me, it's never too late for you to be Kiyoma.
さてと、
Anyway,
それじゃあ帰って。
time to go home.
ん
Huh? Oh, was that Dr. Liskinen? As I headed for the exit, I realized that I recognized one of the people passing through my field of vision. And that was
レス記念教授
Dr. Liskinen? My college went out of its way to attract exchange students, so it wasn't unusual to see foreigners. But still,
いない。
he's gone. I hurried after him, but the person I just saw was already gone. Was I just mistaken? Come to think of it, the professor being here wouldn't be strange. He might have come to meet with my advisor, Izaki. Izaki had wanted to get to know him,
今度教授に会ったら聞いてみよう。
and next time I see him, I'll ask. I glanced in the direction he'd gone, and then left the school for Akihabara. When I came out of the turnstile, the radio building was right in front of me, like always. The time machine that Suza had used to come here was probably still on the roof, correct? Even if people didn't go up there often, it was still amazing that no one had found it after so long. True. Of course, that was all thanks to Ferris. She'd rented out the roof of the building and sealed it off. Of course, I hadn't come here to look at the time machine. I had gotten messages from Lukaku and Ferris after I'd left the lab last night. Both of them had asked, and neither of them were able to get any useful information for me. It made sense when I thought about it. It was possible. It was a good try. If there was a missing persons report, somebody might have remembered the police doing something, but there wasn't. But Ferris had said something interesting. Let me drink some water. But I did hear about a ghost with twin tails, nya?
おさげの幽霊
A ghost with twin tails.
Yeah, that's right. Supposedly it appears every few years and asks people if they've seen a little girl, yeah?
You're talking about Suzu. Why is Suzu a ghost?
No matter how many no matter how many years pass, its appearance doesn't change. So people called it a ghost with twin tails, yeah?
And that was definitely Suzuha. Definitely, 100%. What would she do if she knew people thought she was a ghost? Why'd they think she was a ghost? I held back a laugh as I tried to imagine it, and then headed for the radio building. Was she asking the same people and they recognized her? My goal, of course, was to find information on Kagari. And this was where she'd vanished, which meant this was where I was most likely to find clues. I went around to each store inside the radio building and asked, but didn't learn anything. Of course, Suzuha would have done the same thing, so I didn't expect much. But that didn't mean I could just stop.
Well, why don't you ask Yuri?
Or, Moeka. The parts shop. The commercial facilities. Even the back alleys. Even after all that, I went all around Akihabara asking people about Kagari. But I didn't learn anything useful. Some people told me the same story, about the ghosts and twin tails, but no one knew anything about Kagari. If a little girl was kidnapped or got into an accident, somebody might witness that. But going missing was a different thing. If Kagari Shiina vanished of her own free will, all anyone would see was a 10-year-old girl walking down the street. Nobody would remember that 10 years later. I tried to think again if there was a better way. If the police and government were of any use, that left someone connected to the underworld.
裏世界ね。
The underworld, huh? As soon as I said it out loud, I drove the idea from my mind. How stupid. That's something the old me would have thought of. I'd given that stuff up.
そういえば
Come to think of it, I'd run all over Akihabara looking for something once before. The necklace? I wasn't looking for a person then, but a thing. Oh, the IBN. The IBN 5100. 6 months ago in the Alpha Worldline, I'd gone looking for the same thing that Souza had searched for in the past. Back then, that's right, Kurisu was with me. You're not gonna get triggered now, are you? Oh? This is a good memory. When Kurisu and I had learned that there was an IBN 5100 in Lukako's storeroom, we'd worked together to carry the heavy thing. That's because you tricked her into helping you. Don't walk forwards. Then I have to walk backwards. Let's walk sideways. Thinking back, all she'd ever done was complain. And give you wonderful advice over and over, which is why you keep talking to the AI to ask for help. She was strong-willed, bratty, and hated to lose. But she was still so lonely. Once again, I'd taken my phone out of my pocket without realizing it. Call her. Amadeus. Since I hadn't picked up any of her calls yesterday, she hadn't called at all today. I stared at the Amadeus icon for a moment. And you put it away. And then put my phone back in my pocket. Bad boy. Ooh, here we go. Should I use this as a stopping point? It's only 8:15 p.m. because for once I managed to get the stream started early. Earlier, anyway. I could go for 3 hours. But again, I'd like to have people on the screen for a thumbnail. Yeah, it's almost 2:40. Fine, I'll keep going. When I got back to the lab, I saw that Daru was completely exhausted. There was no need to even ask. It was obvious that he hadn't found a single clue. Souza had been doing this for over half a year, so her face didn't betray her emotions anymore. Daru didn't even bother asking me how it went. You could probably tell from the look on my face. When you stop to think about it, Souza has been working pretty hard at this. We amateurs aren't exactly going to find something new on our own. True. Daru said what I've been thinking, but trying not to say. Thanks for helping. You don't need to waste any more time. I'll keep looking on my own. Souza evidently had no intention of giving up. Obviously, she made a promise to Big Sis Mayuri. No, wait a second, Souza. What I'm trying to say is, I can't let you guys keep working so hard at this. What happened with Kagari is my responsibility. Even if it's your responsibility, you're allowed to ask people for her help. Don't be silly. If the kid's responsible, the parent's responsible. Duh. Depends, but sure, we'll go with that. Dad. God, don't ruin the moment. Hey, how was that? I think I was a pretty good daddy there. If you want to hug me and tell me how much you love your daddy, go right ahead. You ruined the moment. He ruined it on purpose, it seems like, now that I've seen the other endings. Watching these two always gave me a strange feeling. For a while, after they first met, they were complete strangers. And now they were father and child. And age-wise, they were exactly the same. Maybe I could understand how Suzuha was feeling, but I had no idea what Daru was going through. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is, just searching around randomly isn't going to get you anywhere.
じゃあどうしろというの？
So what are we supposed to do? You ask someone who knows this stuff. The best way to handle this is to go to a specialist. Private investigator? Can we ask, Poirot? A specialist? And the way to do this is to talk to someone who knows the underworld. Duh. There it is, the thing Rentaro didn't want to do. I realized he'd come up with the same idea I had. And my head hurt.
心当たりがあるの？
Do you know someone like that? Don't underestimate your daddy. He may be an otaku, but he's well known in certain circles.
横幅も広いけどな。
Well known for being a tub of lard. That was mean. Don't make fun of me, man.
っていうか。
And anyway, are you serious?
本気で
Do you really know someone with underworld
人間とやら
connections?
につながりがあると？
Well, considering his secret job that he currently has, maybe. The way that he handles his job. I'll see who I can find. Before Suzuha or I could respond, he took out his phone and started typing a message to someone. Was he serious? And was text messaging the preferred way to get in touch with the criminal underworld? If it's a burner, I guess.
おじさん。
What do you think, Uncle?
実際にそういう人物
If someone like that really exists, it can't hurt to ask them.
頼んでみてもいいとは思うが。
In fairness, being a hacker was a pretty underworld sort of occupation too. If I knew someone like him, it was quite possible that the person he said he knew really existed. Okay, sent. Now we just wait for a response. That was fast. Hmm? Oh?
え、もう返事が来たの？
Huh? It's back already? Yeah, says she's on her way. She? Who is she? Are we about to meet a new character?
随分と話が早い相手だな。
She's pretty fast, isn't she? Better than slow, isn't it? And that was true. And Doru was sending another message. He was probably telling her where we were. Now all we had to do was wait for her arrival. What if she's actually Moeka or Kagari? What if she's coming here to kill us? And then the phone rang. Let me save before I realize whether this is an option or not. This one was not an option, so we can save over this. Not Daru's phone. My phone. Was it Kurisu again? I picked it up, and it was Why am I stumbling? It was Lukako. Let me drink some water. And that was rare. When he wanted to talk to me, he always went through Mayuri or sent a message via text or Rhyme. Or, wait, could Daru's underworld contact be Lukako? Maybe there was a top secret information network connecting all the shrines in Japan, and Lukako was one of the members. Why are you acting like Kiyoma right now? Nah. My old habits were coming back. It would be rude not to pick up, wouldn't it? The call ended before I could answer. Oh? Did I have a choice? Sorry, I'll call back later. I just have to deal with this right now. I'm curious, was that actually an option? It seems to be. Keep going without you, or... You know what? I like to always answer first.
もしもし、ルカ子か
It always feels like answering gets you a bad ending or a different ending, and then what you want to do is not answer. Hello, Lukako.
あ、岡部さん。
Oh,
すみません。
Okabe. Sorry.
今大丈夫
Are
で
you
す
free
か？
right now?
おう、どうした
Yeah. What's up?
あの、実
Um,
はその
actually, there
僕
was something I wanted to talk to you about.
岡部さんにそう
相談
Something you wanted to talk to me about.
今からお会いしてもらえないでしょうか？
Can I come over now? Someone else is coming here, though, and I don't think they would want too many people here.
今から
Now,
電話
is
じゃ
it
言い
something
に
you
くい
can't
こと
say
な
on
の
the
か
phone?
はい、少し
Yes. Kind of. Right now. Would it be okay to leave this to Daro and Suza?
悪い。これから客が来ることになっているんだ。
Sorry. Someone's coming over now. I was interested to see what kind of person Daro's friend was. Oh. Is it someone we would have known? And since we've answered the phone call, he's going to say that it is very important and we're going to go see him? And leave it to Daru and not see who this person that Daru is talking to is?
そうですか。
I see.
その後からじゃダメか
Can it wait until after that?
その後は
I've got something to
僕
do
も用
later.
事があって、
そうか。
I see.
それ
So,
じゃあ
how about... Just as Lukaka was about to say something. What's happening? Oh, you're here, what? You're here already. No way you're here already. Wait, did we meet this person before? Wasn't there an instance before that Daru was talking to someone? I heard sharp footsteps coming up the stairs. And then a knock.
はいどうぞ
Come in.
悪いルカ子。
Sorry,
お客が
Lukako.
来たようだ。
She's here.
後
I'll
で
talk to you
連絡を
later. Did answering the phone call make a difference? And then I stopped. What? The person who opened the door. It was... Well, it's not going to be Yuki, who's aka, Kagari. Surely it's not going to be Moeka, is it?
こいつ、また
Her again? Who's her? Her? Again? Wait. Does she not know who Daru is yet? In this world line? I guess not. Actually, does she even know us? The world lines, I forget. I think she knows us, doesn't she? We at least met. So she should know us. I mean, we obviously know her because of all the world lines, and we've come back to this one. I think she knows us on this one. Actually, no. Maybe not. Because Karisu is dead. And it was her being alive that we needed to be finding an IBN. If Karisu is dead, we had no reason to find that IBN and everything. So we haven't met Moeka in this world line? I can't remember. So she doesn't know us? That's why she came over. It was Moeka Kiryu. I hadn't seen her since the ATF seminar. Oh, right, we did. So we have met her, just not in the same way as before. So, yeah, it wouldn't matter her to come here.
岡部さんどうしたんですか
Okabe? What's wrong? Okabe?
お茶どうぞ
So what difference did picking up that phone call have? Have something to drink. Moeka was silent, with her head tilted slightly forward. Seeing her caused a dull ache within me, like my heart was being squeezed dry.
どうして
Why? Why was she here with Daru? I had any number of doubts in my mind.
どうしたんオカリン
What's wrong, Okarin?
いや
Nothing. Moeka tilted her head a bit to the side, and I quickly averted my eyes. There was no connection between Saren and us anymore. So she wasn't going to kill Mayuri. She wasn't going to kill Mayuri. She wasn't going to kill Mayuri. She wasn't going to kill her. I said it to myself over and over again, and finally started to relax.
おじさん顔色悪い
Well,
よ
don't forget, she is
大丈夫
technically a lab member. Uncle, you look pale. You doing okay? Why are you calling us uncle in front of a stranger?
気にしないでくれ
Don't worry about me.
それよりも
Anyway, Daru,
説明してくれ
can you explain what's going on?
ああこの人は
Oh, this is Kiryushi. She's an Edit Pro writer.
さんだよ
Right. Her undercover... I mean, she is working for them, but it's undercover.
桐生萌香です
Moeka, Kiryu. Yeah, there's her business card. She suddenly handed me her business card, which had the name of a company called Arc Rewrite on it. Daru gave a brief explanation to me and Suzuha.
なあダルお前はどうして
Hey,
この人と
Daru,
知り合いに
how did you meet her?
前にさ桐生氏の担当
Her magazine once did a special on Akihabara urban
都市
legends.
伝説を扱った特集があったんだその時に僕の
And so I got a request to talk about my part-time job.
申し出があってさ僕のバイトってほら
It's not something I can really talk about, you know? So I politely refused, but I normally try to make myself hard to track down, but Kiryushi was able to find me. That got my attention. And once I met her, as you can see, I found out she was really hot. Yay. A hot writer who tracks down urban legends? Isn't that the most anime thing ever? Boy, sit down. And that's how they met. Suzuha was frowning as she saw how Daru acted around Moeka. She didn't say anything, but I could tell she was thinking he'd be better off directing his attentions toward her mom. Moeka, for her part, seemed completely uninterested in Daru. She was wearing her usual poker face and fiddling with her phone. She was still using a Japanese feature phone instead of a smartphone, huh? Well, it's not exactly her specialty, but she knows a lot about Akihabara, especially about some of the underground stuff, I guess. So I thought it might be worth asking her.
人探し
You're looking for someone. That's what I heard. Yep. Actually, we want you to find a girl who went missing 12 years ago in Akihabara. And Daru told Moeka Kiru the basic story. She was dead silent the whole time, but she typed his words into her phone with incredible speed. I said nothing and just watched. She was once around her. She probably still was. She is. Was it okay to trust her? It was just a coincidence that I'd run into her here. I knew that in my head, but my heart just refused to accept it. Here in the Beta Worldline, we'd never encountered Moeka Kiryu before. Except the seminar. Of course we hadn't. I had chosen the Beta Worldline so that we wouldn't. Even though the cost was Kurisu Makase's life.
つまりその
In other words,
椎名
you want me to find this
という人
Kagari Shiina person.
そういうこと
And that's right.
どうかな
Can you help?
やってみても
I can try.
マジ
Seriously?
でも見つかるかは
I don't know if I'll find her.
もちろんその場合
Of
は
course.
しょうがない
If you can't, you can't. Normally, Moeka and I would never have run into each other like this. Of course, we might have crossed paths in Akihabara. We almost ran into each other when she came to interview Dr. Leskinen and Maho at the ATF seminar. But I'd convinced myself that we were never going to meet each other directly. Was this fate? Where she and I fated to cross paths at some point? If that was the case, maybe it was better not to try to avoid her, but to watch her to see what she did. As I listened to Daru talk to her, that was what I started to think.
じゃあ報酬は成功報酬
So we'll
で
pay you if you
そ
succeed.
の他の必要
And then any other
金は
necessary
こちらが
expenses,
持つ
okay?
ことでお
問題ない
No problem.
オカリンもスズハもそれでいい
Okarin, Suza, you two okay with that?
私は手伝ってもらえるなら文句はない
If she can help, I'm not going to complain.
俺も
You would if you knew.
構わない
I don't mind, either.
じゃあ契約成立ってことで
It's a deal then.
一つ
Moeka nodded slightly, and then asked us for information about Kagari that might be a clue. Stuff like the clothes she was wearing when she disappeared, and what she looked like. After that, she left. That's probably why she came so fast. She knows who Kagari is. Oh, no. She doesn't need to hear us talk about the IBN or about time travel or any of that. Hearing us talk about Kagari, there's no reason for us to know about that person. That's bad. That's the connection to time. That we're related to time travel. Phew. All the tension suddenly drained from my body as I sank into the sofa.
おじさん本当に大丈夫
You know what? I don't know if I would have thought of this in Rintaru's place. But I wish he would think of the fact that she is supposed to be around her, was around her, surely she's still around her. And if she's around her, and we just talked about a person who's a time traveler, maybe that's why she showed up. Like she was asked about this and instantly agrees to it and instantly comes over to help us. Why? Is she just that kind of a person? Well, she was around her. If she's still around her, randomly coming instantly to a time traveler, unfortunately he's not going to think of that. He's too busy trying to not be paranoid. Uncle, are you sure you're okay?
大丈夫だ
I'm
少し
fine. I was just a
緊張
little
しただけだ
nervous.
から
Be nervous. It was a little late, but I took some anxiety meds out of my pocket and swallowed them.
おじさん、さっきの桐生萌香って人のこと。
Uncle, you knew that Moeka Kiryu girl, didn't you?
え
Huh? She could tell.
マジで
Seriously?
いつの間に
When did that happen, Okarin?
どうしてそう。
Why did you think so?
見ていればわかるよ。
I could tell by looking at you.
I guess you'd have to be pretty sharp to survive on the battlefield.
いや、
No,
知らない人だ。
I don't know her.
アルファ世界線では知ってた。
Did you know her in the Alpha Worldline?
あ
Don't react like that, you just reacted.
わかった。これ以上は聞かな
See,
いけ
you
ど、
reacted.
私なり
Okay,
に警戒は
I
してお
won't ask
くよ。
any more. But I'll do my best to keep an eye on her.
それでいい。今は
That's enough. For now.
一体何のこと
What are you guys talking about?
緊張したっていうこと
I
さ
got nervous, is all.
わかるわ
I understand that.
亭主は
She's hot,
巨乳でス
has
タイル
giant
抜群で
boobs,
メガネ属
great
性まで
proportions,
持ってるもん
and she even wears
な
glasses.
しょうがない
You can't help it.
そうだな。
That's right. If she was a part of my life now, I would just have to use her as best as I could. Maybe it was because she was gone now, or maybe it was because of the anxiety meds, but I'd calmed down enough to start thinking that way. Of course, who knew if I'd feel the same way the next time I saw her, face to face.
Up transition. I'll put some characters on the screen. And we're at 3 hours, so. The Japanese office at the Global Brain Science Comprehension Research Organization in Wako City, Saitama. God, that's a mouthful. Mao Hyajo had tried her best to hold back a yawn, but in the end, she'd given up and opened her mouth so wide it covered well over half her face.
Just made me yawn.
You. One reason was that she'd gotten caught up in talking to Karisu last night, and only ended the conversation after it was late into the night. At first, they'd been discussing the research and experiments she'd been doing, but at some point she'd gotten sidetracked into talking about Rintaro Okabe. Because he's ignoring her? Yep. Evidently, he'd been ignoring calls from Karisu for the last few days. Karisu was much madder at him than she was when he ignored her the first 8 times. It was the first sign of femininity that she'd ever seen from Karisu Makase. It was cute enough that Maho couldn't help but take the chance to get back at her for all the teasing she'd always did. She ended up staying up a lot later than she had intended. And since she was too energized to sleep by that point, she'd gotten out Karisu's old laptop. She started to fiddle with it to see if there was some way to crack the password, and the next thing she knew, it was morning. Type in Rintaro. Rintaro. I keep saying Rintaru. Rintaro. Or Kiyoma. Well, she's not gonna know about Kiyoma.
パスワードね。
A password, huh?
やっぱり。
Maybe it would be better to ask a professional.
何の話だい
What's up now? Yeah. She suddenly heard a voice behind her and almost jumped out of her chair. And that's my cue to stop.
そんなに驚くことないじゃないか
Save. I don't know what difference this made, but we'll lock it for now. And then it was Z. It was not Z. X. It was X. Alright, I will call it here for today. And I shall raid out. I think I know who I want to raid out to. They should still be on, because they said 24 hours. I'm pretty sure. Where are you, Layla? There you are. Yeah, 24-hour, 1K anniversary. So we will raid her. So I will use the anniversary raid message, which I think is 5 and 7, I hope. Or 5 and 7. 5 and 6, I hope. Before I bring that up, just to make sure that that message doesn't get caught in the thumbnail. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me. For those who are in chat and those who are just lurking, I appreciate it. Always good to have you guys with me. I hope you all have a good morning, day, or night, whatever time it is for you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone. And then I'll check what raid message is which. Raid 5. Nope. Raid 7. There we go. That'll do. So that first one is for followers, the second one is for subscribers.
In a room where shadows loom, a man sits deep in gloom, with a pen held tight in hand, sketching dreams that understand. Walls may close, the night may fall, but his spirit stands tall. Lines he draws are doors that lead to worlds where dreams are free. With a pen he built his dreams, turning silence into streams. In his mind he's never alone, crafting realms he calls his own. Paper whispers, secrets told, journeys inked in black and bold. Mountains climb or rivers bend, in the world that he can mend. He may be confined and still, yet his heart is wild with thrill. Through each line